Lost at sea. I was a young man when it happened. I worked on a small ship with 5 other men. We carried goods from one island to another. The sea was usually calm and the sun was warm on our faces. Life on the ship was hard, but we were strong and we had each other. One morning the sky turned dark. The wind grew strong and the waves became big. Our ship started to move up and down, left and right. We held the ropes tight, but the sea was angry. Rain hit our faces, and we could not see far. It felt like the sea wanted to eat us. We shouted to each other, but the sound of the wind was louder. Water came into the ship. One man fell, and I pulled him up. We worked hard to keep the ship straight, but it was no use. A big wave hit us, and everything went black. When I opened my eyes, I was on the sand. The sky was blue again, but the ship was gone. I looked around. 3 of my friends were there, lying still. I ran to them. They were alive. We were not on any island we knew. It was quiet. Only the sound of the sea was near us. We stood up slowly. Our clothes were wet. Our bags were gone. We had no food, no tools, and no way to call for help. I looked at my friends and said, "We must stay calm. We must find water. We must survive." I did not know where we were, but I knew this. We had a hard fight ahead of us, and we had to fight together. We walked along the beach. Our feet were heavy and our bodies were tired. The sand was hot under the sun. We looked for food and water, but we found nothing. No fruit, no birds, no people, just trees and rocks. The island was quiet, and that scared us. After some time we found a small river. The water was clean. We drank slowly, our hands shaking. It felt good to drink, to be alive. Near the river we saw big leaves and sticks. We used them to build a small shelter. It was not much, but it was something. Days passed. We learned to fish with sharp sticks. We found coconuts in the trees. We made fire with stones and dry grass. At night we sat near the fire and listened to the sounds of the forest. Sometimes we heard strange noises. We did not know what animals lived there. One night we heard a scream. It was loud and close. We ran to the trees with our torches. We found nothing. But after that night we never felt safe. Something was watching us, I was sure. But we had no choice. We had to stay strong. We started marking the days on a big rock. 10 days, then 20, then 30. We did not know if help would come, but we hoped. Every morning we climbed a hill to look at the sea. No boats, no planes, just water everywhere. Still, we worked every day. We built better shelter. We made tools. We helped each other. The island was not kind, but we became strong. I looked at my friends and thought, we're not just trying to live. We are learning how to survive. One morning I woke up early. The sky was dark and the wind was strong. The trees moved fast and the waves hit the rocks hard. A big storm was coming. I called the others. We ran to make our shelter stronger. We tied it with ropes and put heavy stones on the roof. The rain started. It was cold and fast. The wind screamed like a wild animal. Our fire went out. Water came into the shelter. We held each other and waited. All night the storm hit the island. We were scared, but we stayed together. That saved us. In the morning the storm was gone. The beach looked different. Many trees had fallen. Our food was wet. The boat pieces were gone. The sea had taken them. We were tired and cold, but we were alive, and that was enough for us to keep going. We walked around the island to find dry wood. We made fire again. We dried our clothes. We cleaned our shelter. We talked less now. We were not just friends. We were family. We needed each other, and we had each other. That day, I looked at the sea again. For the first time, I smiled, not because I saw help, not because I was safe. I smiled because I was proud. Proud that we were still standing. Proud that we did not give up. We were lost, yes, but we were not broken. Days passed. The island became our home. We learned where to find water. We found fruits and small animals. We cooked together. We shared everything. Life was still hard, but we were stronger now. Each day we survived. That was our new life. One evening we saw something strange. In the sky there was smoke. It was not from our fire. It was far away, on the other side of the island. We looked at each other. Maybe someone was there. Maybe help had come. We decided to go in the morning. The next day we walked for hours. The trees were thick. The ground was wet and muddy. We helped each other walk. We followed the smoke. Finally we saw it. A small campfire. But no people. Only a broken bag and old clothes. Someone had been there, but they were gone. We felt sad, but also hopeful. Maybe others had survived too. Maybe one day someone would find us. We left a sign near the fire. We put stones in the shape of an arrow pointing to our camp. We also wrote "Telp" on the beach with big white rocks. That night we sat around our own fire. The stars were bright above us. The sea was quiet. I told a story. We laughed a little. Even in that place, with no home, no family, no way back, we found a reason to smile. And that made the night less dark. Weeks went by. We counted the days with marks on a tree. Every morning we looked at the ocean. We hoped for a boat, a plane, anything. But the sea stayed empty. The sky stayed silent. Still, we did not give up. One day we heard a sound, a loud sound in the sky. It was a plane. We ran to the beach and waved our hands. We jumped. We shouted, "Here, help us!" But the plane flew past us. It did not stop. Maybe they didn't see us. Maybe it was too far. We were sad. Some of us cried. But we made a plan. We needed a bigger signal. We collected wood and made a huge fire pile. We also made a big sign with palm leaves. It said, "Always," in big letters. We worked all day under the sun. Our hands were tired, but our hearts were strong. At night, we talked about our lives before the storm. I told them about my wife and daughter. One boy said he missed his dog. A girl talked about her birthday cake. We all smiled and listened. These stories helped us feel human. They gave us hope. The next morning it rained hard. Our fire was wet. Our clothes were cold. But we stood together. We sang songs. We danced in the rain. We were not just survivors. We were a family now. A family on a strange island with only each other and our hope. One morning, the sky was clear. The ocean was calm. We stood on the beach, watching the sun rise. It was a beautiful day. We didn't know that everything was about to change. Suddenly, we saw something on the water. It was small at first, like a dot. But it got closer and bigger. It was a boat, a real boat. We shouted and jumped. We ran to the fire pile and lit it. The smoke went up, high into the sky. The boat turned toward us. It saw us. We cried and hugged each other. After many days, someone finally came. When the boat reached the beach, people stepped out. They gave us food, water, and warm blankets. They smiled and said, "You are safe now." We got on the boat. We looked back at the island. It had become our home. It was where we learned to be strong, to help each other, and to never give up. The sea had brought us to that island, but now it was taking us back home. Now I am an old man. I still think about that island. I tell my grandchildren the story. I tell them how we survived the storm, how we became a family, and how we were saved. Life is like the sea. Sometimes it is calm, sometimes it is wild, but you must keep sailing always. And that, my dear listener, was the day the storm changed my life forever.